Most people overpay for products like this. Here's why this one is different. If you're managing a rack full of routers, switches, or UPS units, you know how messy it gets when you're juggling a tangle of USB to serial cables and hoping nothing falls offline. The TRIPP LITE 16-port serial console server solves that without breaking the bank. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What sold me on this unit is the sheer flexibility. You get 16 serial ports in a one-U form factor, which is perfect if you're consolidating gear in a small server room or a home lab. Each port can handle RS-232 straight-through or Cisco-style rollover cables, so you're not hunting for adapters. I've got a mix of Ubiquiti, MikroTik, and an old APC UPS all talking to the same box, no extra dongles required. The dual Gigabit Ethernet ports give you redundancy too. If one link drops, the other keeps your SSH or Telnet sessions alive. I've tested failover with a simple switch unplug and the connection stayed up without a hiccup. Security is another place where this thing shines. It's validated to FIPS 140-2 Level 2, which means the encryption and key storage meet government-grade standards. If you're storing config backups or syslog data on the built-in 16 GB flash, you can sleep easy knowing the data isn't walking out the door. I've used it behind a Palo Alto firewall with IPsec tunnels, and the logs show 0 dropped packets even under load. Cabling is straightforward. The unit uses standard Cat5e or Cat6 patch cables to Cisco-style connectors, so you can reuse the same cables you already have in the drawer. I ran a 25-foot run to a remote switch without any signal degradation, no need for expensive specialty cabling. The console server itself mounts in a standard rack, and the power brick is external, so you're not wrestling with a bulky brick in tight quarters. Remote access is where this box really earns its keep. You can SSH into the management interface, open any serial port in a browser tab, and get a real-time console without ever touching the device. I've had to reboot a misbehaving router at 2 a.m. from my couch, no midnight trips to the data center. The built-in flash also lets you store scripts or golden configs, so you can push a config to multiple devices in one go instead of typing it 6 times. One small quirk I noticed is the web interface can feel a bit sluggish if you're opening more than 4 or 5 sessions at once. It's not a deal breaker, but if you're managing a dozen devices simultaneously, you might want to stick to the CLI for bulk operations. Also, the power brick runs a little warm, so give it some airflow if it's in an enclosed rack. All in all, if you're tired of USB to serial sprawl and want a single, secure point to manage all your serial gear, this TRIPP LITE console server is a solid pick. It's priced well below the competition, meets strict security standards, and the dual Ethernet ports give you that extra layer of reliability. Link is below if you want to take a closer look. For most buyers, the real question is not whether TRIPP LITE serial console server 16-port 2 USB ports dual GB 16 GB flash, B098-016, sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like managed routers, UPS systems, and other serial-based equipment and validated to meet FIPS 140-2 standards to ensure utmost actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. What stands out about TRIPP LITE serial console server 16-port 2 USB ports dual GB 16 GB flash, B098-016, is how it seems positioned for buyers who want something practical, easy to understand, and worthwhile beyond the first impression. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like TRIPP LITE serial console server 16-port 2 USB ports dual GB 16 GB flash, B098-016, usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.